Hi, everybody. It's Molly, Senior Executive Unit Leader with Avon. Happy 2014. Today is, matter of fact, January 26th. We are almost through January. How crazy is that? What a winter that we're having. I don't know about you guys, but I'm here on the East Coast in Maryland, and boy, oh boy, I mean, I love the seasons, but this winter stuff has been crazy here. Temperatures, that wind chill is below zero, and I don't know about y'all, but I ain't used to that stuff, and I don't like it either. So it has really tested our business so far in the first month. So, I thought I wanted to really get back to doing videos again and trying to give you guys something that you could go back and see again if you needed to. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about becoming a unit leader, what that means, what are your goals, how to do it so that you don't keep losing title. What I find that I'm seeing a lot of in our Onward No Matter What group, and a matter of fact, what I'm hearing from reps all over the place, we've been doing speaking engagements at the Atlantic rallies, and everybody seems to have the same thing. Well, I was a unit leader, or I had people who they're not selling anymore. I lost this, I lost that. Well, you all always hear me say, you don't lose anything. You're not taking these people out in the woods and, losing them, playing hide and go seek. What happens is it's not for them and they walk away. As much as I hate to admit it, there are a lot of people out there, and I mean a lot of people out there, who just don't seem to function right without the 9 to 5, without the slapping that time clock every single day, without getting out there in that rush hour and fighting that traffic, even in the bitter cold, without not being appreciated by their boss or never feeling like they're going to make more money. There are people that if they don't do that, they just don't know how to exist. They're not open-minded to business. They don't really believe that they can do what it takes to make money, or maybe they're just not willing to make the sacrifices or see past what they're doing right now in order to build something that could be hugely profitable to them in the future. This is not a business that you're going to build overnight. This is not a business that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. And anybody who says it is, or says that they've done it and gotten rich quick, well, just like very quick weight loss, there may be one or two out there who've been successful with it, but the majority of the people, they're building something. And they're building something consistently, which means they work at it consistently, which means they have to make sacrifices consistently. This isn't going to happen without you being 100% in. You can't decide you're going to work your business one month and then something happens and the first thing you put on the back burner is Avon. See, I see a whole lot of that within my team, within other people's team, that something happens, somebody gets sick, somebody loses a job, somebody has to do this, I have to go help this person, and the very first thing they do is they take their Avon business and they put it on the back burner. Oh, I'll get back to that. Hey, it's very true, you can just get back to it. But when you do that and you do not have a strong base of customers or a strong base of team members, if you're in leadership, then what happens is you are going to see more cracks in your business. When something happens with you, and do you just say, I'm going to take my kids and put my kids on the back burner? What if you did that with your main job? For all those who have, I'm just going to put my job on the back burner. Well, you're not going to have a job very long because they're going to find somebody to replace you. And it's the same thing in Avon. This business is your business, and you have to take responsibility for it. And may I add, through the bad times as well as the good times. Molly, how do you know that? Well, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I don't talk about anything that I don't know. Remember that when I'm on these videos talking to you, this is just solely my perspective where I've been in this business. You are going to listen to many videos from other people, conference calls, just like I do conference calls. And it's not a bad thing that you're getting these other directions or other ideas. It is a good thing because not everybody views things the same way. And in this business, it's wonderful because if what I'm saying is not reaching out or touching you, reach out and touch somebody. If that ain't happening, there's somebody out there that's going to reach out and touch you. Okay. So no offense taken here, but I can only talk about what I know. And I do know that times get tough. I do know that people get sick and kids get sick and people get diseases and you have to be there for your family, or something happens with your husband, or somebody loses a job, or I don't know. Sometimes what I might not view as something that's important is going to be important to you, but this is what I promise you. I've always said that you can take this business and you can work it around anything that's going on in your life. You may not be able to work it at its fullest, but just to simply take it and put it on the back burner and pretend like it doesn't exist, it's going to fall apart. And even if you're on a larger brand, you're an executive unit leader, even a senior, it has the ability to fall apart or develop cracks in it that eventually you're going to have to come back and you're going to have to fill. So you try, when you're going through the toughest parts of your life and your business, to always have a grip on it, to always have a hold on it, and know that you are working it in some fashion. You don't want to just lose contact with your customers. You don't just want to lose contact with your team. It's part of the reasons, to be quite honest, that I have conference calls, and now, even though they're opened up to everybody nationally, the point is, as your team gets bigger, you can't talk to every single person all the time unless, of course, they're calling you. So there's always all these different ways, Facebook and newsletters and texting and calling and videos and all of these ways to say, yes, you can be successful. This is my way to personally talk to all of you. So find a way, first of all, or, it's not even finding a way. You will always find a way if it's important to you. But you need to make a commitment that your business is important enough to you, that there will be sacrifices you have to make if you want to get somewhere in the time frame that you want to get there. You can still be an executive unit leader eventually, and it might take you longer to get there because of maybe how you're handling your business, because maybe you set it down and you weren't quite proactive like maybe you should have been. So, talking about becoming a unit leader, we know that if you're going to be a unit leader, you know that you cannot forget about your personal sales, because it is a requirement to be a unit leader. You have to have at least $200 each campaign in personal sales. Now, I would think if you want to be a unit leader, that you would want to have more than $200 in personal sales. Why, Molly? Why is that? Well, because in order to make President's Club, which is the first level of sales where you are guaranteed 40% on your core products and 25% on your third-party items, I would think that you would want to at least be President's Club. You would want to lead by example. So you would need at least $389 a campaign to do that. So you always want to be building your sales. But see, this is how I've always viewed this since I got into leadership. When I go out there because I'm seeking to share the opportunity with people and to bring new people in on my team, no matter what I do, and whether I walk away with somebody new on our team or not, I'm always walking away with new customers. There is never a time I am not getting new customers. I get new customers whether there's signs on my card, whether I'm wearing a name tag, whether I'm wearing my jacket, or when my hair's not so big and I'm wearing my hat, my Avon hat, no matter what it is, I'm always getting customers. Books hanging out of my purse, people looking at them. There are just so many ways to get customers, but you can't say, I'm going to be leadership and that's it, and don't worry about your sales, because as a unit leader, you have a responsibility of $200 a campaign. Now let me give you another little helpful piece of advice here. Let's say you're working on your sales. When you're unit leader, you and your team combined have to have unit sales with your sales and their sales of $1,200 or more a campaign. Now, if you're doing $201, that means that your team, of course, is going to have to do about $1,000. You have to have at least 5 active people, and you have to have 5 orders a campaign. 5 orders a campaign. Now, if you have to have that and you have to have 5 people do $1,000, no, it can be done. But think about this. What if you now were doing $400 in sales? Maybe you're doing $600 or $700 in sales. Maybe you are rocking the sales, which, by the way, when you can show people what you're doing and you are showing that you are selling $400, $500, $600 worth of Avon, and you're walking away with $250, $300 in Avon product money. Yeah, money. It's right now money. When you can show people that and show them that you're doing it, working it all around your life, as hectic as they may think your life is, then that's what people decide. That's when they decide they want to come in and give this a shot, because we are a $10 opportunity. So you want to know that you have something to show them. But let me tell you something. Some of you going to get mad, get your panties in a wad right here. But if you're somebody who's been selling Avon for 6 months and you're attempting to go after unit leader and you are still only selling $200 worth of Avon, you're not out there working your business. It's just how I see it. You're just not out there working your business. You're not out there sharing the brochures. You're not following up with people that you're giving a brochure to. There's just no way. There's too many people out there without an Avon representative. There's too many people out there who want the product. So I would say, do not forget, when you decide that you want to do this leadership thing, do not forget that you have to keep improving on your sales. You want to keep making sure that you're taking care of your end of the bargain. And by the way, if you're doing $500 or $600 in sales yourself, it's a whole lot easier for your team to come up with $600, $700, whatever it may be, than it is if you're only doing $200. I don't do it so much for that, but I do it because I lead by example. I'm a Rose Circle seller. I was this past cycle. I may only be an Honor Society seller this year. Rose Circle is selling $38,000 worth of Avon personally a year. Honor Society is $20,200 a year. But the deal is, it can be done. And look, I'm a senior executive. I have hundreds of people on my team. Okay, you can do this. You could be PC. You can sell $10,100. And by the way, if you ever decide to get your S on and become a senior executive, in order to participate in the trips and all of that, you have to be President's Club or above to do that. Because again, Avon says, don't forget what we are. We are a direct selling company. So you decided to be unit leader. We've talked about your responsibility as far as your business and keeping your sales going, extending your sales, keeping the customers coming in, keeping the ones that you have happy. So we've talked about that. Now we're going to talk about building your team. Okay. The rules say you need 5 active representatives on your team, and that you need 5 orders per campaign. So if you've got 5 people, and out of those 5, you need all 5 of them to place orders on a really good campaign, that might happen for you. But sometimes when people are brand new, they only put in $75 orders, maybe a $100 order. So if you've got 5 people, and let's just say they put in a $100 order, well, that's only $500 in unit sales. And even if you had a $400 order, that's only $900 in unit sales. And I would like to tell you, everybody's going to get 5 people who are going to put in an order every single campaign, and they are always going to be $400 orders for all of them, which means your unit sales is going to be $1,800, $2,000. Welcome to fairy tale world. That's not going to happen, people. Everybody is going to miss putting in an order. We wish they wouldn't. In the perfect Avon scenario, every representative comes on and every representative puts in an order and life is good and you always meet your goals. Owning your business is not that easy. I'm here to tell you, it's not that easy. Unit leader is not that easy to hold on to if you were only meeting the requirements. That is the biggest mistake that Avon representatives make who say it doesn't work that gets into leadership. Number one, they never see past making whatever Avon has up as the bonus. Maybe it's $250. Maybe next year it'll be $500. Who knows what they'll have. But they never see past that. I find it hard to believe that with more than half of the people who get into leadership, that when they get in, they go, oh, I want to be a unit leader. No, they don't. I mean, yeah, they want to be a unit leader. That's the first step. But most people want to advance to advanced unit leader, get their A on, or executive unit leader and get their E on, and then senior executive and get their S on. But I just have a hard time believing that anybody who's a unit leader and truly believes in the leadership opportunity wants to stay at unit leader. That doesn't make no sense to me at all. If you want to, it's okay, but it still don't make any sense to me. Just going to be real here. Because if you have the opportunity to make $37 extra every 2 weeks by other people selling Avon and you just make a percentage off of it, or you have the opportunity to have 100 people put in and making $300 every 2 weeks on it, why wouldn't you? Or better than that, how about 1,000 every 2 weeks? Simply because you and your team brought more people on and you get a percentage. Are you really going to tell me you're okay with the 37 or the 1,000? Or let's get higher, senior executives. How about 15, 16, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 11,000 every 2 weeks? I'm not saying everybody gets up there. Look, if senior executive unit leader was easy, everybody would be there, right? If advanced unit leader, which to me was one of the hardest titles that I ever got, was advanced unit leader. Don't ask me why it was my hardest title, but it was. Going from unit leader and finding 2 more people like me. Well, of course, then I needed more than that. I needed 3 unit leaders. Those were the old rules, so imagine that. Now you only need 2. But trying to get to advanced unit leader, to me, was one of the hardest titles that I ever got. And boy, trying to keep it, that was hard too. When I solidified that title and helped my teams grow stronger and they kept working, and I found 3 people truly like me who just wanted to keep building their business, it became a whole lot easier. But it was really hard for me to make that. But this is what, going back, that I think about when I was unit leader, going for advanced unit leader, what the deal was. And the deal was with me is I never built my first gen strong enough. Now, everybody knows, do you know what the first gen is? Leadership, because I hope at this point I'm talking to unit leaders or people who have tried to go for advanced unit leaders who were there. Your first gen is everybody directly underneath you. Not this person who decides, you're here. These are the people underneath you, okay? And then this person over here decides they're going to bring in somebody. Well, when they bring in somebody and they're here, those people are your second gen. So we're talking about first gen. We're talking about everybody that you bring in, everybody you talk to. Or maybe you're out with your a leader and you're going out together, but everybody that you sign up underneath you, that is your first gen. I truly believe that the biggest mistake that's made in this business is that people do not build their first gen strong enough. They hear that the requirement is 5 people, and what do? They bring in 8. Okay? Now, You might be lucky enough with that 8 to get 5 orders, and then between you and their order, do the 1,200. I hope so. But what are you going to do if you have 4 people who didn't? And let's say you have the 1,200, but you only have 4 people place an order. I've had that happen to me so many times. You are not alone. See, some of you think that you're just alone in this. You're not. We've all been there, and some of us still go through that. When I have a brand new unit leader, I go through it. I go through the frustrations along with them to say, but what I know is what solves it is to keep bringing people in. Don't hit your goal of unit leader, that first goal, and then stop working. Then you're just, all of a sudden people go, oh, I want to be advanced unit leader. So they got 7 people on their team. They want to be advanced unit leader. So immediately they start looking at who they can work with on their team. And you have built such a weak first generation that it could collapse at any time. And while you're helping Cindy Lou Who down here build her team, your team up here is falling apart. So all of a sudden you got a unit leader underneath you, but everything your first gen should be doing, you want to get mad because they're not doing it. No, you can't get mad. You haven't built it strong enough. The title of this call is Build It Strong. Build it big. You have to have a firm foundation. Look, firm foundations are for everything in life. Somebody who knows what they're doing, if they're building a house, they have to have a firm foundation. If you don't have a good foundation, it will take no time at all for something to happen, and that will cave. You don't want to build a house of cards. When you do that, it will just all crumble. I want to help save you from that. So my philosophy is this. When you are a new unit leader, I don't care if you hit it and you've got 6 people in your first gen. I don't care if you've bought your 6th person in. Here comes your next campaign. All 6 of those people put it in. You have $1,400 in unit sales. You've done $300 or $400 of that $1,400. You make it. Hey, that's great that you make it because now you have checks coming in. Now you're making a leadership check. Hopefully you won the bonus. Earn. We always earn. Hopefully you've earned the bonus. But the point is, and you've got the $25 coming in. Hopefully these people have placed their $50 or more orders, and hopefully you have earned that signing bonus and they have paid their order on time. Okay, I hope that all that extra money, but look, extra money is just that, extra money. That extra money is not going to help you live every single month. Residual income is building something that will help you build something for your future, so that that amount of what other people are doing on your team is bringing in the money. It has nothing to do with your sales over here. Your sales are a plus. That's for your example. That's taking care of your customers. Residual income is that check that comes in because you've mentored enough people and you have enough people on your team to bring in that check, that extra week, every 2-week check. But you've got to stop this stuff with just having 8 or 9 people on your team. You should be like, go. Go. You have 8 and you make it, that's great, but know that you need 8 more. No, look, if somebody underneath you wants to start, you're going to make a candidate. That's great. Make as many candidates as you can. Not you making candidates. Your people choose to be candidates. That's the other thing. You all hear candidate from the divisionals or the district sales managers or whoever or something Avon puts out. And look, we know the base of this business is bringing new people into the business. But when you start neglecting your goals of going to the next level in search of an incentive or something else, that's great. You're going to get the incentive, but I mean, no offense, guys. What about your goal? Your goal. So as you are showing your team how to get out there and build their team, and you hope that they all want to go out and bring people in, right? I just dropped my pen. And you hope that all the people want to get out there and start building their business. That's not going to be the case. So hopefully you're going to have a few. I personally believe that I get 1 in every 20 that I bring into this business and sign up. About 1 in 20 are really, really pretty much serious to give it a go about leadership. That's the truth. At least for me and my business it is. You want to be a healthy unit leader? Then have 20 to 25 people in your first gen so that you have at least 5 of those 20 or 25 putting in an order, and you hope it's more like 10 or 15 so that you are well over that $1,200. Because I got news for you. If your total unit sales are always at $1,200, $1,300, you're going to be making peanuts. That is the real deal. You want to get those, and by the way, if you want to be an advanced unit leader, you're going to have unit sales of $4,500. So you need to be building your first gen, because if you need 15 to 20 people to truly seek out your next 2 people that hopefully are going to be like you and be unit leaders who want to go higher like you, then you have to start bringing on more people. That should be consistent. Don't sit back and say, I'm a unit leader, this is great, and not keep bringing people on. The power are in the numbers. What keeps you where you want to be is the numbers. You need to be introducing this opportunity to everybody excuse me, that you come in contact with. You seriously, oh yeah, did you see that? Let me show you. See my Eeyore cup? See Eeyore? I like Eeyore. He's very cool. He's a little bit too laid back for me, but he really is a cutie. See? Okay, let's get back to this. You want to build your team strong. Strong. I can't say it enough. You know, people will say, well, I had 3 people. Look, 3 people dropping off in the same campaign truly should not kill your business when you're a unit leader. It shouldn't. This is why I tell people practice the power of 3. Every single day, at least 5 days a week, the power of 3. And sometimes the power of 3 can turn into the power of 5, the power of 10, whatever it is. What is that, Molly? What's the power of 3? The power of 3 is making sure, without a doubt, I'm not talking about tossing brochures. I'm not talking about leaving them places. I'm talking about talking to 3 people about Avon every single day, 5 days a week. Yeah, every day, 5 days a week. Talk to 3 people. Offer the opportunity. If they don't want the opportunity, hopefully they're going to be a customer. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't get out there and talk to people, whether you're doing an event or you're tailgating or you're going into businesses doing customer appreciation day and giving out the bombitas or the sample packets that are out there, if you don't get out there and do that, guys, you are going to be that house on the sand. You saw, you heard the story, the parable in the Bible. Come on, man. The guy who built his house upon the sand and the one who built his house upon the rocks, which one is going to stand the longest? You want a solid foundation, because when the problems of life come into the only 5 or 6 people that you have on your team, and here comes the water's coming in, your team's built on this sand, just 5 or 6 people, and their life gets in the way and they don't put in orders, or their orders used to be $300 and now they're $65, whatever it may be, it does affect you. But you need to have enough people on your team that's not going to affect you. That while you're helping to see what's going on with them and you're reaching out to say, hey, how can I help? What's going on? You should consistently be bringing people on your team. That is the name of this game. Leadership is about opening your mouth and using all the other things out there that we've talked about in the videos, from tossing brochures with recruiting flyers in them to having events and bringing people over to the table. I just watched a great video by Lynette Bledsoe that she put on there about getting 200 leads of people who could have been interested in either being a customer or becoming an Avon representative, because they went out from the table and they opened their mouth and they brought people over to fill out the information card, and now they have all these people to weed through that hopefully a lot of them are going to be on their team. That is the truth. It is not hard. The hard part is getting off your ass and doing it. That's the hard part. The second hardest thing is forget the people who say no. If you expect the no's when you go in, it makes it a whole lot easier. You know what? I'm going to go in here, and they're probably going to say no, but that's okay because I got other places to go into. No was really hard for me. How do I know that? Because, good God, my life was full of rejection. And when I first started out, I took no's as major rejection. Look, they're allowed to say no. Don't take it personally. In business, you cannot take things personally. If people choose to walk away from your team and you've done everything you know you could to try to figure out what the issue is, to try to walk them through a better way to get through the issue, but they still want to walk, it still seems like a waste of time, let them go. Now let them go with a kind spirit, because maybe whatever's going on in their life, maybe that will turn around, and you want them, if they want to come back, to say, boy, I really want to go back and I want to be a part of her team because she was so understanding and she really worked with me, and that's where I want to be. So you want to do that, but let them walk. It shouldn't matter if they walk, if you've done everything you could, if you're still bringing in the new ones over here in this direction. A lot of people will tell you this is a numbers game. I'm here to tell you it's true. What you hope to do with your numbers is you hope that in those numbers of bringing people in, you hope that you are going to find a few who are going to be the start of being your diamond or your pearl. That's what you hope. Somebody who's going to want to see what you're doing, and they're not afraid of work, and they're not afraid of disappointment, and they're not afraid of falling down, and they're not afraid of getting back up, and they want to build something just like you are, and they realize it's not going to happen overnight. They realize there's going to be setbacks, but they know they're going to get through them. We only know that if we have a personal relationship with these people. Find out what they want, remind them of what they're going after, and bring them in. My goal with my videos and my Onward group this year, in 2014, is to see the sales rise massively for Avon products. To see unit leaders become strong unit leaders. To realize that there is power in numbers. And I don't just mean numbers of sales. There's always power in those. But there is power in your team having many numbers in it, many people in it. We get so caught up with, oh, I'm a unit leader and I want to get my A on. Of course you want to get your A on. Of course you want to become advanced unit leader. Advanced unit leaders, of course you want to get your E on and you want to be an executive. And executives, God knows I know you want to get your S on, because I was there for 6 years wanting to get my S on. It didn't happen in the time frame that I wished, but I had to look in the mirror. And a lot of that was me and what got in the way. And some of it I regret, and some of it I feel like I couldn't help. But needless to say, I didn't give up. As I speak to you today, right here, January 26th, I am in almost my second year of being a senior executive unit leader. And I am person enough and real enough with you to tell you that in campaign 1, in campaign 2, I am title at risk as a senior, because it ain't easy, sister and brother. A lot of people won't tell you that. They'll say that's negative. I say, hell, negative? That's just real. It happens. I'm not one of these big, rich, and famous senior executive unit leaders. I'm going to be one day. You mark my words. I'm going to be. But I have struggles like everybody else. And sometimes they get in the way, and sometimes they don't. And campaign 1 and 2 is normally always a struggle for every Avon representative out there who has a team. And I'm not any different than the rest of them. What makes me different is I won't give up. And God forbid, even if I lost my S in 2 more campaigns and I was back to executive, ain't nothing in the world going to stop me from getting back there. See, you can fall down. But you got to be willing to do what you need to do to get back up. You got to regroup. You got to bring your team in. You got to make what's weak stronger. If you've got unit leaders, and maybe it's not what's in your first gen, maybe executives who are falling back to AUL, if you've got unit leaders who do not have a strong foundation, teach them this lesson. Teach them that having 6 to 7, 8 people is not enough. Who wants to worry about whether you're going to lose your title or not? I don't. But I realized in the very beginning, when you title, everybody worries. Look, I'm a senior executive. Again, going into my 2nd year as of campaign 6 of being a senior. And it is hard when you first move to another title, whether it's unit leader or senior. It's all the same feeling, guys. It's hard. Because the Avon leadership world is based on unit leaders. Unit leaders. The way to get away from that is having unit leaders that are going to build strong. Because once you're a strong and long unit leader, then that gives you the opportunity to work more with those who want to be you, under you, who want to be a unit leader. You want to teach them to do what you need to be doing. But this is what happens. See, if you're not doing it, they're watching you. If you're not doing it, they're just going to do what you do. So you need to build strong. You need a strong foundation when you have a team, and you don't have it right away, but you work towards it. You work towards it till you can put your head down on your pillow at night, and you know that when the numbers come up the next day on Downline Manager, that you know that your numbers are going to be there. They may not be as high as you want them. You may be working on goals to get numbers higher, but you are not going to sacrifice your title because you have enough numbers underneath you. You're going to find a lot of SEULs are going to be talking about stuff like this on their calls. And if they're not, they should be. In their videos, for those who are doing them, we've got to get back to, we've got to stop not finishing the job. Does that make sense? I mean, I know what I'm saying, but I really want to make sense to you. Just because you reach the goal, when it's someplace you want to stay or go higher, you can't stop working so that you can breathe. You know, Waiting to Exhale, that awesome movie that's out there, you want to be a place in your business that you can exhale. So I don't care who tells you differently. If you're somebody who follows me, if you're somebody who believes that I can tell you the real deal, I'm telling you, my husband Lee Bibb is one smart cookie, and he is my numbers man in this Avon thing. And when we chose to do that, when we were going after our S in the end, it was absolutely a numbers game and bringing as many people in, because the more people you have, the more chance you have of being successful. Yes, we are trying to find the diamonds and the pearls and all of this. But in order to find the diamonds and the pearls, you have got to keep bringing the people in. You can't say, oh, well, Avon says that I need to have 12 to be in AUL. I need to have 20 to be in exist. So that's all I need in my first gen. See, I did that. When I made executive, I had like 22 in my first gen. I needed 20. Let me tell you something. It was hard because suddenly 20 didn't mean I was over what I needed for advanced unit leader. But when I made it and I had 20 in my first gen, and then 2 people were dropping off, and I'm like, oh no, my numbers and everything are great, but I'm not going to make it because I don't have, I don't have 20 people in my first gen. That's a bad feeling. Your base, and your base is your first gen. Make it strong. I don't care what, if you want to be a thriving leader, build a strong base. Yes, others can duplicate you. This is the deal. You want people to duplicate you, but you want them duplicating the right things. And when they see what you're doing and you explain to them why you're still building out, you want to bring more people in. You're doing it. You want them to do what you're doing, but you better take care of your base. Because if you don't take care of your base, it's not going to matter, because you're not going to get that check, or maybe you're going to get paid at a lower level. But with me talking to unit leaders, you know how it goes. If you don't produce, you don't get paid anything. As a senior, when I am title at risk, I get paid as executive. By the way, I don't like that crap either. That's a lot lower pay than what I'm used to. But I know that there are things that I need to do, in this case, to help my team, because my team needs bigger numbers. My unit leaders need bigger numbers. They need to get off of the just having 8 or 9 people, and they know they've got to build across. They've got to get stronger, because when it comes to campaign 1 or 2, I want them to say, I'm not worried about campaign 1 or 2. I'm going to have my $1,200, my $45. It's all going to be there. It's all going to be there because I've built strong. So I challenge you in 2014 to have a different thought pattern. Build it strong. Build it big, but build it strong. Because when you build it strong and you lead by example, the ones in your team who are truly your diamonds and your pearls are going to follow you, and they're going to follow your example, and they're going to want to duplicate what you're doing, and you just keep bringing them on and teaching others how to do the same. So build it strong. Remember, if you're a unit leader, if you want to be strong and you want to exhale at night, you need 20 to 25 people on your team. Look, I think it's great if you bring in more, but what's great is you get 15 to 20 people on your team. You can start picking out those people who have bought 1 or 2 people in, your candidates who have come in, and figure out who's willing to duplicate what you're doing. That's what this is all about. That's how you're going to get your S on. It's how you're going to get your A on, your E on. It's how you're going to feel like you're moving your business forward, because why those people are dropping off who it's not for, and they're going back to the 9 and 5 because they can't hack it, you will be able to find somebody else who can hack it, because your numbers are always growing for you to select from. Okay? So those are my words for you. Okay? In 2014, grow it strong, build it long. Okay? You can do this. 2014, we're almost to the end of January. This cold weather's got to go away eventually on the East Coast. And remember, guys, it's going to get tough at times. But remember that key phrase, onward. Onward. No matter what. Sometimes it's slow going, but you got to keep pressing onward. You got to feel yourself pushing onward. And you have to make the decision no matter what. Nobody else can make it for you. Don't let those negatives hold you back. You keep going. So I'll have more videos for you later. Remember, we have the conference calls every other Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you guys on the call, and I hope you enjoy having the videos back. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.